I'll tell you in a minute. That's your name.
When you got home? Some of her friends are here.
Seventh grader.
It's my pleasure. Congratulations. Oh, they asked me to do it. I'm like, there's no question. I want to do it. It's like I probably fascinated on Facebook. He is actually not nearly that interesting. So I love reading his posts. I learn more. So like this her family.
Jeremy?
They handed me with them a kid, like, okay, take me back. I love it. Yeah. We carry our no worries. No,
How are you? How are you?
Come this way. How are you?
Nice to see you. My son, Max.
Nice to meet you.
Sam? Yeah. Nice. Not yet. Not quite yet. Yes. I am on my way back. Yes. I'm coming. Yes.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right. So as I'm going through the sessions.
Right outside of Lexington.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I usually start slowly and then
He's at University of
I wasn't going to use it.
Right. And this one's finishing high school this year.
We go right from Alicia Bayrock to ABU, and so to make that progression, do the slow first and then speed. That's cool. Okay. I just think it'll be a lot more, Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. No. It's a great tune and it's a great idea. It's just I want to make that professional. No, absolutely. How are you doing this year? Got it.
My money's on Zoe.
One, two.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. What time is it? 10:54.
It's a little but we'll get there. Yeah, I was just looking through it, and it's like you go right from it to there up to that. Pretty good. So then we do it. No, definitely.
It's just yes. Yeah. They come back a little bit during the event, just virtually because otherwise you don't pay attention. But it's really back a little bit, yes.
Never saw it. Oh, the other one this way. I see. I got it.
I just turned out fine.
No confrontation.
So, in terms of this, I don't know.
So his friends coming in.
I want to.
Exactly.
But do it,
Jen.
All right. One question for you is, for Barco and Shema, are we doing a similar thing last night, or just going right here?
oh, no.
No.
Let's do Hebrew English. That's what
Sure. Okay, I will do that. Yep. Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Ma'avanu Henu, and then L'Kahadana.
It's nice to be here. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. I just want to check with you. All right, for the start of the service, I will call you up after. I'll call you up at the beginning of the service. You also let Rob and then give you October, and then start after you're done with October. So I will call you up. Okay. So you can sit down.
I'm just gonna start. They're all fans of cello. I'm a fan of cello.
Good morning, everyone. Shabbat shalom to you all. Welcome to Congregation Temple Israel, both you who are here in the sanctuary with us and those of you who are watching us and this service on the internet. We're delighted to have you join us and to help us participate in the coming of age of one of our own. We are delighted that leading this morning's service will be our Bachurat Bat Mitzvah, Zoe Shuk, Sahala, Shoshan Bat Yirmiyahu Ve'elishevet. She will now come forward and lead us in the Shabbat morning service. The service starts on the first page with Ma Tovu, the song that will be sung by Rob and played by Jordan.
Ma tovu, ma tovu, o alecha Yaakov, bishkenotecha Yisrael, ma tovu, ma tovu, o alecha Yaakov, bishkenotecha Yisrael, va'ani berov chastecha avo beitecha, eshtachave el heichal kodshecha v'yiratecha, ma tovu, ma tovu, o
Alecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ani ahavti meon beitecha, umekom mishkan kevodecha, mishkan kevodecha, va'ani eshtachave ve'echra. Evracha lifnei Adonai, osi ma tovu, ma tovu. O alecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, ma tovu. Ma tovu, o alecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, mishkenotecha Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom. Our service continues on page 2. The world is sustained by 3 things: by Torah, by worship, and by deeds of loving kindness. Shabbat is a celebration of an eternal partnership. The sages of our tradition believe that the world is a fragile place. Life itself can vanish in an instant. Men and women are partners of the eternal God in the ongoing process of creation. Humanity's God-given purpose is to nurture and protect all that lives. The success of that partnership depends on appreciation of God's handiwork, on prayer to lift the human soul from the world of the ordinary, and on love for one another. The world is sustained by Torah.
Torah is the revelation of God and the wisdom of our matriarchs and patriarchs.
Torah is the fearsome hate evil and the compassionate love your neighbor.
Torah is the handcrafted letter on parchment 1,000 years old, and the haunting melody written yesterday that rises from the soul.
Torah is the rule of God, which frees us from tyranny and the mitzvot restraining our own impulse for evil.
Torah is as old as creation and as new as the wisdom we draw from it today.
The world is sustained by worship.
Worship is the prayer of the congregation united in joy, and the prayer of the individual heart pained by loss.
Worship is the trained voice lifted in song and the whisper of a child learning the Shema.
Worship is the reenactment of the revelation at Sinai and the celebration of the cycle of life in the synagogue.
Worship is the quiet of an empty chapel on a weekday and the noise of a sanctuary in the midst of a festival.
Worship is the faith of the household of Israel praising God,
and the uncertainty of one who seeks truth. The world is sustained by deeds of loving kindness.
Loving kindness is care given to family and friends, and a welcome to the newcomer in our midst.
Loving kindness is a visit to the sick and a ride offered to the elderly.
Loving kindness is a bag of groceries for the hungry and a phone call to the lonely.
Loving kindness is all Israelites are responsible, one for another, and all humanity is created in the image of God.
Loving kindness is the gift made with no thought of reward.
Please rise.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMelech, praise the Eternal. Baruch Adonai HaMelech Leolam, praise the Eternal, who is to be praised forever.
Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai המפורח ברוך אדוני המבורך המבורך לעולם ועד המבורך המבורך לעולם ועד.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvarei hoshech, oseh shalom uvarei et hakol, hame'ir la'aretz veladarim alecha barachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh bechol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reishit. Marabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam b'chokhma asita, mal'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shavach ma'aseh yadecha. Ve'al me'orei or, she'asita yafa'arucha sela. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer hamorot. Praised are you, eternal our God, creator of the universe. You shape the soft glow of light at dawn and the glare of the sun at noon. When evening comes, you sculpt the faces of the moon and arrange the passage of the stars and planets. Day and night, the lights of heavens bathe the earth. The evidence of your handiwork surrounds us. Every creature, mountain peak, and ocean wave testifies to the magnitude of your wisdom. Our ancestors understood revelation as God's great and loving gift.
We would have been lost without the light of Torah, searching in vain for a just path.
More than rules, restrictions, and regulations, Torah defines our existence as Israel.
Obligation, responsibility, commitment. The yoke of Torah balances what we take with what we give.
Torah directs the life choices we make.
Then our lives become infused with holiness. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Eternal is our God. The Eternal is one. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Praise God's name, whose glorious reign is forever.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha. Ve'hayu hadevarim ha'ela, asher anochi mitzavcha yom al levavecha. V'shinan tam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha bevetecha, u'vlechtecha v'derech, u'shokbecha u'vkomecha, u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha. Ve'hayu letotafot bein einecha. Uchtavtam al mezuzot betecha, uvisharecha lema'an tizkaru va'asitem et komitzvotai. V'item kedoshim lelohehem ani Adonai Elohehem. Asher chotzeti ethem me'eretz Mitzrayim lehiot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohehem. Truly, the Eternal is God, and there is no other. Redeeming Israel at the shore of the sea, God delivers us from the slavery of Egypt. With freedom comes the responsibility to join with God in partnership. As God redeems us, so must we participate in our own redemption.
Through acts of love, we redeem the world as God redeems us.
God redeems with miracles, signs, and infinite powers.
We redeem by working to bring justice into the world.
God redeems by breathing life into us and watching over us.
We redeem by searching for meaning and purpose within our hearts.
God redeems by offering Israel the privilege of choosing divine service.
We redeem by choosing God.
God redeems by giving hope to the persecuted.
We redeem by doing justly, loving mercy, and walking humbly with God.
Praised be God, our Redeemer, who has made us partners in the work of redemption.
Like Moses and Miriam at the edge of the sea, we join in bearing witness to the wondrous deeds wrought on our behalf. Let redemption continue in our own day, so that we and our descendants continue to sing with joy.
Yai lai lai la lai la lai la lai lai. Yai lai lai la lai la lai la lai lai. Yai lai la lai lai yai lai lai lai. Ya la lai lai ya la 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh. שירה חדשה שיבחו גאולים לשמך על שפת הים יחכו לעמודו וימלו לכו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai.
Prayer is speech and song, hope and dream.
Reaches out to the infinite God and finds the divine image within ourselves.
Prayer is public, expressing the community's commitment to God.
Prayer is private, opening the soul for strength and guidance.
Prayer is the formal work of the writer's craft and the simple plea for help.
Prayer is powerful to those who pray and a mystery to those who never try.
Please rise.
Adonai sivatai tiftach, ufi'ali tilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh hakol, v'zocher chasdei avot v'imot, u'mevii geula livnei b'neihem, l'man shalom v'ahava. Melech ozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, magen Abraham v'ezrat Sarah.
Praised are you, Eternal One, our God and the God of our ancestors. Each generation you understood you in relation to their experience of you.
Abraham and Sarah saw you as the God of the promise to be fulfilled.
Isaac and Rebekah knew you to be the God of love and commitment.
Jacob, Leah, and Rachel perceived you as the God who builds up the household of Israel for struggle and greatness.
As their experience defined you in ancient days, so may our daily life give us knowledge of you. As you were their guardian and teacher, so may you protect us.
Praised are you, eternal God, protector of the generations.
Eternal God, you offer us strength and insight into the wonder of life and the mystery of death. Life's precious moments are cherished because we have so little time. Life's beauty can be grasped only when we can understand its frailty and fleeting nature. We try to capture the miracle of the rainbow as it disappears before our eyes. We attempt to seize moments of joy as time brings them to an end. We cling to the warmth of a child's hand as we sense it slipping away. O God, give us the wisdom to celebrate life's blessings and inspire us to maintain our sense of wonder in all its mysteries. Praised are you, eternal God, giver of life.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Throughout all ages, we have experienced you in different ways, but one constant remains true. Your holiness is enduring and everlasting, but what makes us holy?
When we are able to look beyond ourselves and see the majesty of life, we are holy.
When we are able to renew our commitment to the teachings of the Torah, we are holy.
When we are able to free ourselves from harsh words and idle gossip, we are holy.
When we are able to live honestly and unselfishly, we are holy.
When we are able to subdue the evil inclination within us, we are holy.
When we are able to appreciate the ordinary as special, we are holy.
When we're able to share what we have with others, we are holy. Praised are you, Eternal One, the Holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu, ritzei v'nuchatenu, kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein helkenu b'toratecha. Sabenu mituvecha, v'samchenu b'shuatecha, v'tacher libenu le'avdecha be'emet. V'chanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu, ba'ahava uvratzon Shabbat kodshecha, v'yanuchu va Israel mekadshe shemecha baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Our God and the God of our ancestors, you have given us Shabbat as an opportunity to create a holy time, a time for renewal of the spirit and rejuvenation of the body. Remind us of our rich heritage and responsibility to live by your teachings. Teach us the importance of this day as time for personal and communal growth, dedicated to your message of peace through holiness. Praised are you, Eternal One, for the gift of Shabbat.
Remembering your covenant with our ancestors, we are grateful for your faithfulness. Throughout the ages, you have been our defender. We rejoice daily at the wonders of your creation. There are no limits to your kindness and compassion. We shall always place our faith in you and in your promise of redemption for Israel and all humanity. With gratitude, we praise you, our eternal God.
sheberach Avotenu mikol habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Yehiyu liratzon imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha. Yehiyu liratzon imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri vegoali. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri vegoali. Yehiyu liratzon imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha. Yehiyu liratzon imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri vegoali. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri vegoali. Yehiyu liratzon imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha. Yehiyu liratzon imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri vegoali. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri vegoali.
Our service continues on page 18. To the eternal, the earth belongs, its natural bounty and all it contains.
God set its foundations in the sea, upon the waters made it stand.
Who will ascend God's summit?
Who will remain steadfast in God's holy place?
The innocent and pure of heart,
Who have not profaned the holiness of God, the ones who have not made worthless promises.
they will receive blessings from the eternal.
They will obtain justice from the God who protects them. Baruch atah Adonai, lamdeni chukecha. Praised are you, O eternal, our teacher. Please rise.
רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו.
So the question remains, how do we recognize someone who is transitioning from childhood to adulthood? Some societies have tests of physical strength. We could have asked Zoe to run 6 miles before she came to services today to demonstrate that she is now capable and has the strength of carrying on the traditions of Israel. But the truth is that in our community, the ability to carry on the tradition is based on knowledge, based on study, based on an ability to communicate with the past and stand as a beacon of the future. And so passing Torah from generation to generation, Lador Vador, is a way we symbolize that the Torah is now passed to this new generation as it goes from Zoe's grandparents to her parents to rest firmly in her arms.
כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ולבר אדוני מירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. אחד אלוהינו גדול אדוננו קדוש שמו. לך אדוני הגדול והגבור והתפארת והנצח וההוד. כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, לך אדוני הממלכה והמנשה לכל רוב.
Please be seated, everyone. Zoe, our bat mitzvah, is going to read from the 8th chapter of the book of Genesis This Torah portion this week is the second of the Torah portions of the year. It is entitled Parashat Noach, the passage of Noah, the portion of Noah, and she's going to be reading from sort of the latter portions of the portion of Noah toward the end of the flood, as she begins by pronouncing the blessings over the Torah reading. You can follow along on page 21 in the prayer.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayizkor Elohim et Noach ve'et kol hahaya ve'et kol habehema. Asher ito bateva vaya'aver Elohim ruach al haaretz vayashoku hamayim vayifsachru mayanot tahom va'arubot hashamayim vayikale hageshem min hashamayim vayashuvu hamayim me'al haaretz haloch vashov vayachseru hamayim miktseh hamishim ume'at yom vatanach hateva b'chodesh hashvi'i b'shiva aser yom lachodesh al harei ararat v'hamayim hayu haloch v'chasor ad hachodesh ha'asiri ba'asiri be'echad lachodesh niru rashi heharim. Vayehi miketz arba'im yom vatanach Noach et halon hateva asher asa vayeshalach et hayonah ha'orev vayetze yatso vashov ad yavoshet hamayim me'al haaretz. Vayeshalach et hayonah me'ito lirot hakalu hamayim me'al penei ha'adama chol v'lo matzah hayonah manoach lahaf ragla vatashav elav el hateva ki mayim al penei chol haaretz. Vayishlach yado vatashav vayikachecha vayave ota elav el hateva. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'hayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. This is the Torah that Moses placed before the Israelites, the word of the Eternal. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim, v'ratza v'divrahem, hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo, Uvisrael amo uvinvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. For this is like the waters of Noah to me. For as I swore that the waters of Noah should no more cover the earth, So I have sworn that I will not be angry with you, nor will I rebuke you. Though the mountains depart and the hills be shaken, my love will not depart from you, nor will my covenant of peace be shaken, says Adonai, who has compassion on you. Afflicted one, storm-tossed, unconsoled, behold, I set your stones in antimony. Lay your foundations with sapphires, make your pinnacles of rubies, your gates of crystal, and all your walls of precious stones. All your children will be taught by Adonai. Your children will have great shalom. In righteousness you will have established. You will be far from oppression, for you will not fear, and from terror, for it will not come near you. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol haolamim, tzadik bechol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer ve'oseh, hamdaber u'mkayem, shekol devarav emet v'tzedek. Al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah, ve'al hanvi'im, ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh. Shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, likdusha v'limnucha, Lechavod ul tifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim lach, umvarchim otach, yitbarach shimcha, b'fi kol chai tamid le'olam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha'shabbat. My Torah portion for this morning comes at the end of the Noah and the Great Flood story. It rained for around 150 days. After the 150 days, the waters receded steadily with a wind God sent down to earth. And on the 17th day of the 7th month, the ark came to rest on the mountain of Ararat. After 40 days, Noah opened one of the windows and sent out a raven. The raven kept flying back and forth until the water had all dried up. He then sent out a dove to see if the water had receded from the surface. The dove couldn't find anywhere to rest its feet, so it returned to Noah. Noah then waited 7 more days and then sent out the dove again. When the dove came back, in its beak was a little olive leaf. That leaf was a sign to Noah that the water had all disappeared. 7 days later, he sent the dove out again, but the dove did not return.